we use for expansion. So, and then our traction. So our target for our first phase in MSMA, domestic, we are targeting to meet 500 people. And then our next phase will meet 2,000. And then our third will meet 10K. So basically by 2024, Chakot shall create around 2,000 jobs or more. So basically in our first phase, it was to 500 people, and 35,000, 35K, to plant with, okay, we have a profit of 2.5 million. That's we're planning 500 within 1 to 6 months. And then our second phase, by 2023, late 2023, we'll have a profit of 10 million. And then in phase 3, which is 24.
1 minute left. 1 minute.
Okay.
Continue 1 minute.
Oh, yeah, thank you. So basically, the fundraising issue will need 35,000 to develop only one product. So for the 500 products, we need 35K times 500, which will come to 17.5 million. So basically, that's 17,500 USD. Thank you.
How many of these can you assemble in a day, in a week, in a month?
A day.
Yeah, and what can you power with this? How long does it last?
Per day, we can assemble more than 100, but it will depend on the number of that we have.
So if you had 100, how many workers would that be?
One worker, if he has all the equipment, he can assemble more than 20. Yeah. It is self. It charges itself because the power output is equal to the power input for charging it. So it can continue writing for more than a year.
What can it power?
It will be depend on the wattage. If they are those who are made for industries, they are those who are made for home uses, and those which are made for institutions.
Does it solar power?
No.
How does it work
It charges itself.
Where is the source of power that then allows it to charge itself?
We are tapping the power from itself so that we step it down so that it can charge itself.
So you power it when there's power.
So maybe the question is, do I need to have electricity or solar first?
No, you don't need it.
So then where will the source of power come from for the battery?
From the inverter, because it has been tapped so that it can charge itself. From the inverter, which is using this battery.
So the battery already has. What form of battery are you using? A lithium battery? A chloride ion battery?
Lithium battery, lithium ion.
All right.
So you buy the inverter and the battery?
Yeah, we are selling it, but when it's completely assembled, so you just use it.
Can this be used power other appliances, for example, electric cars, electric wheelchairs?
Yeah, it's possible due to its constant recharging.
How many lithium batteries do you have in this one?
Only one.
Only one.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe in the future recommendations, especially on the engineering, have a deeper description for your engineering side, because most of the time, unless there's someone who understands that, it's very difficult. In the future.
Okay, so our team is James, which is the captain. And then we have Joy, she's doing analytical chemistry. And then Chamoshori, which is me, information technology. And then we enjoy. And then Sandra Ruto, business and information technology. Apologies, couldn't make it today though. Thank you.
Help me appreciate the team. Powerful. The next group to present is the triplet, and after that we're going to get a performance from Peter Ivia. Welcome.
Good afternoon. As the claimants, we have Emmanuel Baraka, we have Felix, and I myself, Tony. Okay, in a developing country, we have a developing country where power supplies is a crucial resource, and it is estimated that 13% of the world population have no access to electricity, and about 45% of households have no access of clean fuel. Take an example in our country, Kenya, where we have many places have no access of electricity. And for example, where I come from, Narok County, most Narok South, we have places where electricity has not reached those areas. And as tribals, we have come up with a system which not only increase the supply electricity in the country, but all worldwide, but also so they give us introduce a clean, eco-friendly supply of power in our country. And we have in this system, we are going to have Felix telling us about the demonstration system.
So this project is called a ZIP, Z-E and double P. This initially stands for High Zero Emission Power Project. So take this analogy, I'm cycling during the night and I depend on my cycling to run the bicycle dynamo, which allows for me to light up the torch. So the more I ride, the more I get energy to light the torch. So in this system, we have three main components, which are the motor, the generator, and this transformer. So it is not different from the other sources of energy like the hydroelectric power and the geothermal. But here we do not have the water and the steam, but we have a primary source of power. So this primary source is fed into the motor, which drives this generator to produce an output current, which is then stepped up, and some of it is transmitted to consumers, and a portion of it is plowed back, which is used to run the motor, and afterwards you can disconnect your primary source of current. And so this system is self-generating.
What impacts do you bring to the market? Number one, we bring in cheap electricity as compared to our competitors. If we enter the market like KPLC, we bring in cheap electricity. Another one is job creation. In the setting up of our plant, we will employ people to help us setting up the plant and even transmitting the power to the national grid. And then we also bring a clean source of energy because our system doesn't use fossil fuels. Our business model, we intend to acquire a piece of land about half an acre or 1 acre to set up a plant, and the plant will employ members of the area to help us transmit the electricity into the grid lines. Why are we the ones that are worthy of the $1 million? Number one, increase the power supply in the country. If a commodity is in surplus, then it is more affordable. And that means even the average family, the below family can afford electricity. Number two, we are consistent. The current providers of electricity, they are affected by weather conditions, like for instance the windmills. When there is no wind, doesn't produce electricity. And the KPLC sometimes rains or harsh weather conditions affect the electricity. But ours is a self-generating system. So that means that we will have no chances of blackouts. And then we also provide clean energy.
The future of our project is that we are looking forward to introducing engines which use this system into the market. You see, current engines have been developed which use basic power. Can I continue? Okay, engines have been introduced which use power, except that they use battery power and there should be charging points for these batteries. But ours, we can introduce this system which is self-generating to run this motor which runs the electric vehicles.
Our team consists of 3 of us. I being Tony Micha, the brand ambassador. We have Baraka here, the accounting and finance officer, and we have Felix as the lead architect. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. So my question is on how it works. What powers the motor or the generator at first?
So there is a primary source of power, like we can have a stepped up solar power or the normal hydroelectric power in the grid lines.
You said that your system doesn't use hydroelectric power or steam.
Initially, that's why we named it the primary source of power. Before it starts regenerating, there should be an initial source of power.
How, the business model, you already talked about your expenses, but how are you going to make money at all?
Oh yeah, so we'll make money by selling the system to households in the areas that we set up the plants. Yes. The buyers, they will buy our system to light up their areas.
Do you have a rough estimate how much it might cost them? Do you have an estimate of how much it might cost them? If you don't, it's fine. Okay. Just it's okay to say we don't know yet, because we don't know how much it will cost us to create. But yeah, do you have?
Yeah, there was a rough day. We say that the supply will be charging 1 cent per kilowatt hour.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, for the KPLC, when you look at the records, KPLC charges 3 cents per kilowatt hour. So ours we are moderate. We are not low, but we are moderate to 1 cent.
Why does Kenya Power charge 3? You know.
Or rather, why would you, a better question, how would you be able to charge 1 as opposed to 3?
Because there's levies, there's taxes, there's all these other.
Okay, when you look at upon our setup and how we have budgeted the plant, we have looked that we can charge 1 cent per kilowatt. As you look at the KPLC, which uses now the hydroelectric power, they have to source the primary source, but ours we don't use. We are just doing for once and then we leave it out. And ours we do.
Maybe a question, why are you not considering powering, say, for example, so what looked like, what's that, the engine that you had instead of powering homes? Why are you not considering it being an alternative source of power for motorized vehicles and electric vehicles? Why are you considering households?
You see, for a start, we can start with the households, and as we expand, these are big projects. So after we expand, we can go to this level.
Help me appreciate the group. At this point, I want to invite one of the musicians in the house. By the name, this is Via to come and changamsha us for a minute. Welcome.
Hello. Hi. Hope you're good. So my name is Ivia. I'm an artist. I've been doing artistry, that's the word, for I think now 5 months, and it's I'm trying. So I did this ordinary challenge a while back. So siwezi kulose mini bazukuza anajoso ordinare mini ordinare hey mini gangsta ordinare you know me wa mare mucha mabeba sinanare na napenda kazi akamtwiki na magari asipigia rufu sasa na dofi kwa imani hey ukina ndio mabare kati wewe kuja chance moja bora play with me I hate you ukatafuta hii. Also, I just meant you. I meant to say I love you. I meant to say I love you. No, I meant to say I hate you. Nimetoka mbali, naenda mbali, toka ponda mbali, hadi chini mbali, nikisaka gani, harakati gani, once I'm for the big old you know when I'm better for free, nigga, it's really, I'm fucking for real. I think I cheated one night, caught up in it, and I shit one night. I said, my case, but better believe, I'm coming again, together, I win it, I'm looking for somebody else. Nobody, I'm taking it all. Hit me or love me, I don't give a damn. I'd rather say nothing, but wait for the best, but you got time. I'm in the lead, so this is a song. So this is a song that I now most of the time when I perform, but it's not an original. That one was the Calligraph's challenge, and I did it because why not? I'm a challenger. So before that DJ, so This is a song. The next song is my song. I actually released it yesterday. It's a song I wrote. So that's what I remember. Okay, yo, DJ, twende kazi. Na uniwekee sauti ndugu yangu. Am I doing it wrong? What am I doing now? It doesn't make sense anymore. Ninakumbuka nilipokuwa na baby ulinimaliza, ukatani mawazo mawazo ya shida, cause I remember zile ulichowashakiza. And I don't know what I have to say, but I know that everything will change. Even if you wanna tell her things will change. I'm not wrong, even so you know my name. You know what you did to me, so I'm crying. Ninasonga, nimefika kona, saa inapona, toka nilichoma, ulinichoma, ukaniumiza, ukaniacha kwenye giza. Oh my God, oh, you make me feel like I'm losing it all. Oh my God, oh, she made me feel like I'm losing it all. Yeah, and I'm so lonely, baby, oh yeah. Something's saying I hope you tell me please. You cannot tell me that you wanna, I swear that you're the one for me. DJ umeanguka mtihani. I took just from where we are. Tell me that you wanna, I swear that you're the one for me. I swear that you're the one for me. I swear that ninakumbuka nilipokuwa na baby ulinimaliza, ukatani mawazo mawazo ya shida, cause I remember vile ulichowashakiza. And I don't know what I have to say, but I know that everything will change. Maybe nikimwona tena things will change. I don't know, maybe so you know my name. I have a message for you. You know what? Skiza. Nimechanganyikiwa, nikitafuta mapenzi shida. Kila time inalia, kila time unafanya na kuwa na kichwa. Mbona sana nimegiva, ile ndio nilisema ni base tafika. Kanigiza napenda kucheza wakati light imezimwa. Tell me how you break me, cause now I'm losing patience. And I hope you get this message. But anyway, I know that you're the one for me. I know that you're the one. Yeah, me that's so fika kona, saa inapona, toka imechoma, umenichoma, umeniumiza, ukaniacha kwenye giza. Oh my God, ulinimaliza, ukatani mawazo mawazo ya shida, cause I remember vile ulichowashakiza. And I don't know what I have to say, but I know that everything will change. Maybe you wanna tell her things will change. I'm not alone, baby, so you know my name. So you know my name.
I don't know, there's always something in artists when they come on stage. Like we have to talk about this song that they have done. Like I began quite challenging, but why not? And then there's always something else with them. Is their first songs. Always the heartbreak or my last song. But it's a good one. Let them appreciate it one more time. That was amazing. And now back to business. The next group to present is the Tronics, who are going to be followed by the Trailblazers, and after that, we'll be having the next group. I tell you. Help me welcome them, the Tronics.
A very good afternoon to everyone. You know how, as a student, sometimes you have low income or no income, or how a certain mama mboga or a boda boda rider, maybe with no education, can spare a few dollars and not know where to take it? Well, the smartest thing we're taught is to invest, but how many really do invest and where? In the next 3 minutes, I'll be showing everyone here how to be a smart, flexible, and potential investor, regardless of the age. This is how I'll do it. I'll introduce a website and an app to you that will help everyone and anyone to invest in, even your 12-year-old child, to invest in local startups and upcoming firms of their interest.
Our solution, Millennium Fund Limited. How to navigate through the website? You can click to the nearest internet browser, search Millennium Fund. You can either create an account through email or your Safaricom number. Our website also offers a certain homepage where you can invest through any field of your interest. You can invest through technology, you can invest through hobbies such as tourism, you can invest through government bonds such as treasury bills. The minimum starting funds for our website is you can invest as a minimum of $3, which is equivalent to 300 Kenya shillings. So let me take you through our website. This is the homepage. We also offer news. We also offer the treasury. We also offer how our market runs. Yeah, this is the market, chart market. And we also offer, yeah.
The general flow, we have presented it in that format. First, you have to go through the website. Through the website, we'll able to, after going through the website, there is you will be able, as a company, will be able to identify a common pool of funds from your, maybe let's say, 2 or 3 people of you. Maybe you want to invest in tourism, the other person wants to invest in tourism. So we generate a pool of funds. So with that pool of funds, we're able to combine that pool of funds and then invest in local startups. Or rather, we can invest maybe local startups or other investment companies. So why choose Millennium Fund? One, it provides affordable asset fund portfolio. Second, we offer term deposit interest. And third, we provide more than just financial advice. We provide more than just financial advice. Our impact, we are looking at creating more than 2,000 jobs. More than 2,000 jobs when it comes to the year 2024. And also the 2,000 jobs will be direct jobs. And we are looking at creating more than 20,000 indirect jobs. These 2,000 jobs we are going to offer, it will be through, maybe will be our business model. We have investment capital, which will be having, it's estimated to be $10,000. Then we have fees and commissions and other company listing fees. For your company to be listed in our website, you have to pay a minimum fee for enlisting your company. Market opportunity. We are targeting 63% of low-income earners and unemployed people. And we are also targeting 37 middle-income earners. Market adoption. We'll be starting by creating awareness that will be through advertisement. Then after creating awareness, we enable our customers to evaluate our products. Then give them opportunity for trial. They can try with as minimum amount they are having at the moment, and they can go to adoption.
We look to partner with Equity as our banker, M-Pesa and PayPal so as to facilitate the transactions. Our main competitors will be Saitom Group of Investment, UAP or Mutual, and AFRIC, who've been in existence for quite a while. But what we offer different from them is that we will include the local startups, the ones you know locally, the SMEs. We plan to use 48% of our funds to set up our offices and make sure the website and the apps are running efficiently. 25% of the same to ensure efficiency of the running. 15% to create awareness of our product and to make known what we produce to the market. 12% to make our website user-friendly and our apps user-friendly and to continuously improve on it. Upon conception, we seek to reach 1% of the daily mobile users, which is approximately 0.5857 million users, who we expect to generate a pool of fund of about $1.6 million as per the minimum deposit amount, which will generate an average rate of return annually of 120%.
This is Tromix. I am Joy, the advertising manager. This is Alien, the co-founder and CEO, Ade, the marketing manager, and Albanus, our financial manager. We hope you can help us make this idea reality by vouching for us to the next levels. Thank you.
Remarks.
First of all, thank you for that presentation. I agree this is a huge gap that continues to exist, but I have a few questions. So how you're thinking about it is that you're going to have people come onto your platform and then they'll indicate what they're interested in. And then the companies that are listing, what kind of companies are listing? Are the investments equity or are they debt?
There are investments, equity, public limited companies, and also local startups.
Okay, so the local startups piece, investing in startups is an extremely risky asset class, and the population, the customer population you're targeting is low income and unemployed. So if your likelihood of losing your money with investing in startups is probably 90+%, is that the right asset class to introduce to that customer base?
It would be our main asset class for those customers. We are looking to also invest in treasury bills and government bonds.
Okay. And then in terms of how you're planning to reach your target customers, could you talk a little bit about that? And then also, how are you going to create those 2,000 jobs? Where is that actually going to come from, given that this is a financial investment platform?
Okay, in terms of risk, you said that when we invest in local startups, we are posing a major risk, right? Okay, we will be buying shares, ordinary shares, and we'll divide our shares into two. There are ordinary shares and preference shares. So preference shares, according to law, when a local startup is winding up, it will have to pay you, whether it has money or not. That is according to the law.
So, no. Actually, how it works is if a startup company is liquidated, like it goes bankrupt, right? Even if you hold ordinary shares, if the company has no money, you get no money. And in fact, ordinary shares are the lowest on the totem pole. So when a company goes bankrupt, the first people to get paid are the debt holders, so whoever's invested debt, which is why I was asking you, are you going to do debt or equity? The second people to get paid are the preferred shareholders. The last people to get paid are the ordinary shareholders. So usually the ordinary shareholders end up with nothing when the company goes under.
Okay, we are diversifying our portfolio. We are not just targeting the local startups. Local startups will be just be by the way. Yeah.
Which is fine. But the other question that I'll have for you, if you're thinking about government bonds and monetizing through a company listing fee,
first of all, why would like public sector companies be motivated to list on your platform? They wouldn't. The guys that would be motivated to list on your platform are private companies. So wouldn't monetization, most business models like this monetize on the user end, not on the company end? Does that make sense? Sorry, I know I'm giving you guys some feedback and some pushback, but I've invested in a lot of models that do similar things across the world, and I've seen what works and what doesn't, so I want to push you a little bit to think about what will work.
Hope you got her comments. In case you didn't get, please see her after this. You have a very powerful lady, a powerhouse. Help the men to be very, very confident. God bless you.
Have you appreciated the tributes? Good. We are almost getting there. And the next group to present will be the trailblazers, who are going to be followed by the Iron Labs. Welcome, the trailblazers.
These are the trailblazers. My name is Moina David. This is Michelle Alusen, and Judith Aoko, and Clifford Obure. Our project targets a very large group of people that we have in our country. Number one, we have graduates who are coming out of schools and institutions of learning in every year, and also we have people who are transitioning from one job to another. We also have the skilled and the unskilled labor force. In our research, we have found out that a very big number of people in the skilled sector, these are people who have verifiable credentials and certificates in their, from institutions that they learn from, or from trainings that they have attended. We also have the semi and unskilled people. Some of the semi-skilled people are people who are coming out from Tibet. As we all know, our government expanded the Tibet, the technical and professional training centers, and also the unskilled people who are their talents and acquired skills. So we have created a simple web application system to connect all these job seekers to employers.
So this is the home page of our web application, whereby we have this is our services that we will be providing in our website, in our web application. So we will have the employer registration, employee registration. This is whereby anybody can register as an employee and can register as an employer. Whereby these people in our system, they can meet, chat, and agree if I have a job, I'm an employer, and somebody registers an employee, and if he beats my job, I can give her or him my job if he qualifies. So in this our platform, we have verification. So for somebody to qualify to bid my job, I should see his certifications that he has gotten. If he is skilled, is labor. If he's unskilled laborer, then from the system itself, I'll get the referencing that she has received from the system. The system will be referring people who are unskilled if they have worked before, so the system can verify them to the employee who is looking for an employer. And then in our system, we'll be having short courses whereby people will like to improve their skills. If they have skills and they want to improve them, we are going to give them short courses which we will be doing, and in that they will be improving their possibility of getting employed by the employers who will be logging into the system. And then after that, we will be having some jobs which are advertised in our other platforms which are not legit. We'll be acquiring jobs which are legit and give them and recommend them to the employers who are seeking for jobs so that they can get those jobs. And I think this is our system.
Our business model, first of all, the rate of unemployment in Kenya is approximately 10%, and we are going to adopt 80% of those unemployed, both skilled, semi-skilled, and those who are skilled and semi-skilled. And then our monetization, we are going to be monetized by Google through ads, and we are going to charge some premiums as well as some charges for those who are going to log in, depending on the premiums they have subscribed to. And then to adopt, on our adoption, we are going to use organizations as well as those who are willing to log into our system.
Okay, we have the impact that our website will make. First of all, we have the skilled and semi-skilled and unskilled people who are the ones who will be looked at. We will look at the visibility. They will be able to get visibility. They'll be able to get access to opportunity. They'll also be able to get a smooth transition from one job to another. So 70% of the skilled people will be able to get job opportunities, and also 30% of the semi-skilled and unskilled people will be able to get job opportunities.
Our future prospects, we aim at involving the online interview system. We'll add the blog page that will be educative, and we have employee follow-up. If you have been placed in a job, we'll follow up with the person and know what they have achieved in the job. Also increase their credit score in our system. Also charity work from the generated funds. I'm one of the event CEO and co-founder. Judith, I have a background in mechanical engineering. Judith Aoko, finance. Michelle Alusa has a background in applied communication. She is doing our marketing, and Clifford Obure is our software developer.
I'll invite the panelists to give their remarks.
Thank you so very much. I'm wondering if you're aware of the existence of a body called the National Employment Authority in Kenya. If you are not aware, I think you need to check them out, because they seem to have a similar, actually they are mandated to do that by law. And that brings me to the question of whether someone would want to register with National Employment Authority or would want to register with you. What is the incentive? That is one. The second issue is about it is easier to get, the demand is there in terms of people who are looking for jobs. They will throng your platform, right? But that is not the challenge. The challenge is the supply side. The people who are providing these jobs. How are you going to get them to be on your platform? And is it really true that they have those jobs? What they don't have are ways of getting people who actually need those jobs. So you might want to check out that, so that you are connecting the demand to the right supply. That's very important. And then lastly is the figures on the rate of unemployment. It is not 10%. So many studies are there. Economic outlook for Kenya is there. It's not 40, it's not 10%. It's 40%, but you just need to check it out so that you're quoting the right figures. Thank you so much. I don't know if my colleagues, there's anyone else with
Okay, I'll start with the question of if someone would want to use the National Employment Authority or our system. So our system has the part of whereby the employees can actually interact with the employers on a one-on-one basis and get to know what is required of them. If, for example, you failed to attain a certain job, you come back to the employer will give us feedback that we will recommend to you courses that you need to take or any other certifications that you may need to take for you to maybe qualify for the next round. The second part, Emily.
So the second part was about the demand and supply. What is the incentive for employers to be on your platform?
Yes, the employers to be on our platform, we are going to, we have in our page, we have in our website, we have the login, we have the option of login as a recruiter or login as someone who is looking for a job. So we will partner with employers from everywhere. Actually, anybody can be an employee. If I want something done today, I can just come in there and say that I want this thing done, and then.
I mean, it's okay in terms of partnering with them, but how do you get them to see value of what you're offering?
Yeah, let's go on. So nowadays, when you go to SR offices, you get that there's jobs there, but the people don't qualify for those jobs. The reason is because these people, they are not skilled. So when you register with the
system, we educate you. If you are not skilled, you are not able to do a certain job, we get to give you the courses that we are giving, we are offering. Give you the courses. When you do the courses, then you are fit for that job. We will follow up for you when you are in that company to know how you are doing there. So the people who will be employing will come to our system because we give them legit people to do their business with.
So, from one of the biggest issues you will have is you can't do everything. So you need to pick a specific vertical that you're going to train people in and give them like whatever certification verification they need before you can give value to them. Where would you start?
With the unskilled labor.
What
So,
vertical, what would you target?
yeah, so exactly. So when somebody is logging in as an unskilled labor, first of all, we will see some of the work that he or she has done before and give her the reference of the people who have done too. From there, we can compare and know the percentage of the skills this person is having in that field. From there, we can compare and recommend them or recommend to him or her some of the courses she or he can do from there.
Right, but I'm saying you have to pick a vertical, right? So let's say it's plumbing or it's painting or whatever. You're going to have to pick a vertical first and specialize on that before you're able to scale it up. Because what will end up happening with these kinds of platforms is it's very, very difficult to do multiple things at the same time. So my just a note is like you need to start from somewhere. So you need to find out, okay, this is a vertical where there's a lot of demand for plumbers, and we don't, like, a lot of people are actually certified in plumbing, and they don't know what they're doing, etc. And then we're going to train them to do it, and then we're going to try to for examples of that. These kinds of models are very, very intensive. The only way that they can work at scale is if you start very, very specialized. And then you go from there.
I appreciate that. We want the trailblazers right about now. The moving to the next group, which is Iron Labs, and also they present finally the Meta Group and the Kawibora be preparing for the presentation. The one movement for social impact.
The one movement for social impact? Yeah.
So over the years, the country and the world at large have been experiencing various pandemics, viruses and flus. In mention, we have the Spanish flu, we have the Ebola, and the latest is the corona pandemic. It's 3 years now, some days, since the country recorded the first case of corona pandemic, and since then, things have not been the same again. We've lost our loved ones, some of us have lost their jobs. The calendar of the events of school has gone bad, and the economy itself has been terrible. We are having inflation of prices, and you can agree with me, we don't want to go back again. We need a system that can be able to detect the onset of such new viruses and pandemics, and to find measures to prevent and contain such illnesses, and that's where Iron Lab comes in.
In Iron Labs, we provide a computer system that uses AI and deep learning in order to predict and to also to determine which individuals have different viruses. This also goes to the existing viruses already and also upcoming viruses. We train the model in order to detect any symptoms or any variation of new virus strains in the human body. We use the coughs of the various patients because someone who has malaria or any other disease coughs differently depending on the type of disease that they have. So as we are preparing to go into the market, we will target the public health stakeholders. In Kenya, we have the CDC, and then in the whole world, we have WHO. And these people will also help us to integrate the system in the various ports, airports, ship ports, bus terminals, and all these these places where people get in and out of countries. As we have seen from the coronavirus, as it started from Wuhan, if this system was integrated on an earlier stage, they will be able to predict or to discern that there is a virus happening here, and that place will be closed out or secluded. And according to our roadmap, we already have a running system. We've borrowed some samples from the CDC offices, which we are using to train our model.
When it comes to the market, who are we targeting? The first place we're targeting is the CDC. Second, we have the Ministry of Health. We are starting from home, then we are going up. And for the market, how we create the 2,000 jobs? When this system comes into play, we will need technicians to operate the system. We will need people to install the system. We will need doctors to also help us track how businesses are going. And in case anything is flagged, we'll need the doctors to treat the diseases and also to help us control the same. Also, to add on it is that we will need, there will be kind of a training program to use this system because it's a new system. So that will provide an opportunity for trainers, IT experts to come and train people on how to use the AI system that you're coming up with. For the AI market on a global scale, it is currently valued at $15 billion with an expected compounded annual growth rate of 34.8% to bring that to about $200 billion by the year 2030. When you come to Africa, Africa holds up to $189 billion in terms of the market value, and that amounts for around 1.26% of the whole global value of the whole global value. The business model we are taking is who are our consumers. That was the first one. Now that was the direct consumers. Secondly, for pharmaceuticals and other private medical labs and maybe private hospitals that would want to use the data maybe for their research, they will also be paying the subscriptions, annual subscriptions as displayed there. And finally, we are having the AI as a service. When you are installing an AI system, you will need also to run other systems. So the AI system comes in now to, as maybe now, for example, for inventory management and other services that AI can offer. For coming up with a system, the cost that we have estimated for a first installation will be at 100,000 Kenyan shillings, then an annual renewal fee of 50,000 Kenyan shillings, that is as a subscription. For the trajectory of the business growth, we are estimating that we will use the first short-term model for running a macroeconomic company that is using the cost efficiency. Then in the long run, now we can now come to profit maximization. For marketing, we are using all the four P's, all the 4 P's of marketing. The first one is on product and place. That is identifying customers and tailoring our marketing to their needs. Secondly is on price. We'll be having premiums and discounts. And then finally, now we are having the one now for promotion, which is now the social media marketing.
Our vision is to steer innovation in AI technology in Africa and the rest of the world. And we've been working, and we will continue working with my team composed of Haniel Okelo, who's the developer. His sincere apologies, he couldn't make it. And then Kelly Jackson, the design engineer. And the business analyst, Lamek. And I, Abigail Zakaria. Thank you, the engineer. Thank you.
Thanks guys for a good presentation. Do you have anyone in your team with any public health expertise? Plans of getting one. So one, public health and data, machine learning. Do you have any of that? So
Machine learning.
you are machine learning experts. So now a machine learning question. How many, what's your minimum success criterion when you're looking at health informatics? And this is a very complex problem. How many people would you have to test to actually have an optimal intelligent solution that diagnoses early or is able to detect early?
From the data we have collected from the samples that we got from the CDC,
how many samples?
We got around 100 samples. From the model itself, we got a 95% pass rate.
How many people did you effectively test?
100.
100 people?
Yes.
And that's enough to diagnose
This is just for the sample to test the model. But with more funds, we can be able to test more diseases, more viruses.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what indicators were you testing when you were looking at the kind of data that you're collecting?
Okay, from the human perspective, since it will be a machine that will run on itself, we looked at the vision on how the facial structure of how someone looks, because a healthy person will not look the same way that a sick person will look like, and also the different types of coughs. Yeah.
So you're using this to diagnose which diseases?
We used malaria for our sample test and also the COVID-19.
So malaria is cough?
Yeah.
Is it at the top of the...
No, it's not the main symptom of the cough.
You go to a hospital and you have malaria, what's the first question you ask?
It's not the main symptom of the cough, but we were using to test the sample, whether it can verify
but that's a false,
but
that's a false data.
Yeah.
False data that you're entering into the machine that you're training. So I'll cough and then you have malaria.
No, we are using such samples because if anyone can cough and we don't know what specifically that cough is for, the machine will just determine that this is a virus. So we use different illnesses
Let me
to test.
bring you back here. I'm asking because I'm very passionate about it. I work at AMREF. We like working in health and data. And those are things that we like collecting. So I want to ask, what is the frequency of a cough for you to determine that it is a viral infection that needs to be upgraded to the next person?
Do you have a public health specialist?
No.
Or access to
Yeah. So there's what I'm trying to get to, and I love the idea because there's a lot of funding that's going into early detection systems, and maybe you're looking in the wrong direction. Maybe the question is around working with doctors who collect these symptoms and into your system so that data collected by 1 million doctors across sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, that's
And yes, not collecting samples based on one indicator that could be that I'm choking on water, or maybe I have allergies, I just sneeze all the time, so you diagnose me with something that I don't have. So maybe the question is, can you begin, because when I go to hospital, they'll ask me maybe 3, 4, 5 leading questions and they'll determine that I need to now go to the lab to be tested for whatever needs to happen. So maybe the approach can be on identifying what common symptoms exist with viral infections and community type, NCDs or any other public health problem, and then partnering with health institutions to be able to now teach your machine, because the capacity that you have as 4 people is very limited.
We were planning to first start the test using Aga Khan Hospital.
Okay, so good start, good job.
Help me appreciate the group. One more time, appreciate them. We are slowly coming to the end because we have 2 groups remaining. Yes, 2 groups. And at this point, before we continue, I want to reintroduce our judges one more time. Yes. The first one being Tony Olela. Help me appreciate him. We have Raphael Obonyo. We have then we have Kitawa Wemo, Sheila Begen, and David Chupi. Help me welcome the next group to present, that is the Meta.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Meta presentation, Make and Cook with Paper Briquette. So what's a briquette? A briquette is a compressed combustible material that can be used as fuel. There are many different types of briquettes. There can be sawdust briquettes, charcoal briquette, but for us, we're focusing on paper briquettes. Now, why paper briquettes? Yes, so the number one reason why I chose paper briquette is because right now in our local areas, there has been inflation of cost of fuel, ranging from, for example, the charcoal and LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, and secondly, the use of wood as fuel in our local areas encourages deforestation. That's why we are focusing on paper briquette.
So how do we make the paper briquettes locally? Having the paper, waste paper and water as our raw materials. First of all, the product will undergo 3 stages. That involves crushing, drying and briquetting using a simple machine that is made locally. So under crushing, the waste paper is soaked in water and smashed to make small pieces which will be able to fit in the machine. Then it is dried completely to be able to drain water and moisture from the product. And eventually it is taken into the compressor for it to make briquettes.
Yeah, so focusing on the 2022 call to action, then we were focusing on employment. And this whole idea will create employment opportunities in that, see, in the whole process of making the paper briquette, there's those, you see, there will be those needed to collect the waste papers, the unused papers. There will be those needed to work with a simple machine and create it. There will also those needed to package and sell the paper briquette. And so we believe that in 2 years' time, the whole idea will create job to 2,000 opportunities. Yep.
So collection of the waste papers will be done from the institutions around and the government offices within the local areas, and that is through them disposing the waste material, the waste papers, the old and the unused papers from their institutions and their offices, and for us purchasing them to to use them as our raw materials. And with that, we'll be able to achieve the call to action for this 2022, that is bringing the world back to action. Bring the world back to work. Thank you. I am Faith Chepimoy.
And I am Mike Owili. Yeah, sorry, the other group members were not able to make it at this time. Thank you.
I'll invite the panelists to give their remarks on their project. Benefits, thank you for coming.
Good presentation. My focus is always on competition. So who are your competitors? Are they the other guys making duplicates from licensors? Or you have people who are making the exact product from business?
Yeah. We realized that there are industry duplicates that are there are made by large industries. Now you see in local areas, many people have the struggle of affording fuel. See, in our presentation, you say that we're making local paper briquettes, locally, we're making them locally. So we're going to use a simple machine with a simple process of making the briquette. So we believe we're going to shine the industries that make, they have their customers, but not in the local areas.
Okay, thank you so much. I think you represented your team now. Even though you're half of the team, you presented like the full team. I mean, it's a whole team, so good job. My question is whether you've thought of the scarcity of paper. I mean, now we are operating in more of a paperless society, yet your raw material for whatever product you are developing is actually paper. Have you really thought of what if we run out of paper? I mean, in terms of the kind of product that you're planning to generate, what other options do you have to go out of business?
If you haven't got that right, so do we think
Can we appreciate the Meta Group? I'll request us to be upstanding, all of us. Yes? It was this exercise we used to do when we were back in kindergarten and lower primary. Sit down, stand, shake, sit down, stand, bend backwards, sit down, thank you. The last but not the least is the Kawi Bora group that consists of Dennis Kemboi, Alan Raila, and Karen Jebet.
Good afternoon. So this is Team Kawi Bora. Let's face it, the price of electricity across the country is way above the roof. As it stands right now, locals cannot use electricity for their households, and people in poor areas such as Baringo, where most of us are from, cannot have electricity to do studies and everything. In comes Kawi Bora. Our solution is to offer, currently we are offering solar panels to local communities in Baringo to power their homes, to do basic cooking, to do basic studies, and to enable them to get water, which they use for irrigation and to feed the animals. So our mission?
The mission of Kawibora is to build a 50 megawatt solar power plant that will provide electricity to the national grid system. And why Baringo? One, because it has favorable solar intensity, as you can see in that bar chart, in that graph, that in the hottest months, the solar intensity reaches up to 4 peak solar hours, and in the coldest months of July and August, it's up to around 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And also the availability of vast land in Baringo.
So the revenue that will be paid for KPLC, so we'll be selling the power to KPLC, and they'll pay at 0.12 kilowatt hours. And we are looking to provide 50 megawatts. So that means in a year, they'll pay us $25,000. And the universal impact is that it will allow us to access cheaper electricity. It will provide 2,000 plus jobs and pump water for irrigation so that the guys can irrigate their soil and get grass to feed the animals. Also reduce pastoralism, because they will not have to go looking for the grass.
Market competition, we have a similar product by Mkopa Solar, and we are advantageous because we offer the national access, because we produce power, and this power, as you all know, power cannot be sold by an individual. Power is limited to sell by KPLC alone. So we are going to sell this power at KPLC. And as I said earlier, KPLC admits that selling power is expensive because they get power from non-renewable sources. So giving them renewable energy will make them also sell at a lower rate. Secondly, our solution is cheaper. So our ask is that the judges, you allow us to proceed to the next level so that we get training, incubation, and funding on our idea. Thank you. Our team is made up of Dennis, myself, we are electrical engineers. Thank you. Yeah, we are all electrical engineers.
Nice. I'll invite the panelists to give their remarks. And this time, 4 of you, because the last group.
Do you mind just giving a recap of what exactly, because I missed the initial introduction, kindly.
So, Eric, you can go back. Okay, so let me hit it off. Electricity currently is expensive, and the reason why electricity is expensive is because KPLC gets electricity from producers who are non-renewable. For example, burning of coal and everything else. And KPLC had admitted that had electricity been from renewable sources, power would have been up to 50% cheaper. So what we want to offer is a solution that is renewable to enable the distributor, KPLC, to sell it at a cheaper rate.
So you made the panels or you got the panels?
Okay, currently we are getting the panels that we are using locally from local sources. And to start small, we install them at our local homes. And we have seen the impact. It has enabled local homes to get electricity to study. And we want to go bigger, that is build a solar farm. That is what we are talking about in the mission. Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. So for you guys, it's just a business that you want to set up. So what is it that is innovative enough that you are competing with M-Copa or me from, let's say, Baringo? I can just go buy the solar setup for myself, what is it in it that you're offering the consumers, and also your differentiation from M-Copper solar and such?
Okay. Whatever you're offering is that power we cannot do it as individuals. We cannot produce power and then sell it at an individual capacity, as I said earlier. So we have to get through the government, that is through the distributor KPLC. And to go to impact society, we need to the problem is in the production, and the production is non-renewable. So whatever we are offering differently is the renewable, and that we have already working solutions. So we are going bigger, going like we are scaling it to like a big solar farm. Currently, a single unit can produce up to 1 kilowatt hour. So if you go like 50 times that to 50 megawatts, you're going to like power like the whole region, not just small households.
Okay, so I'm a bit lost. So this seems like you have understood it correctly, that it's you need maybe capital to get a lot of panels and then sell that to the.
Okay.
What exactly is your solution other than getting these panels? Do you aggregate the powers from these homes you installed the solar panels at, and then the aggregated?
No. Okay. We want to do the bigger version, and we have tested it using the smaller version. So once ready? Yeah. These are the smaller versions that we have.
Is it true?
We have had, this is not really me, but we have had such.
Okay, who's manufacturing it? It's
We are not manufacturing it, we're buying it from producers.
So you will still be buying something that somebody else has made, but in large quantities.
Yeah.
To be able to. So then, what exactly are you? Yeah, I don't see the solution there, because it feels the innovation there. It feels like it's a procurement thing where we get a lot of solar panels and then we install it in this area, call it a solar farm, and then that energy we get from this plant is what will supplement to, or will provide or sell to PLC.
Okay, the thing is that we have the space for innovation of the panels. It's not like we are necessarily going to, for a start, we had to buy. And in the process of that's why we say our ask is that we get time for training and incubation. We have the background of electrical engineering, understand how solar energy is converted to current and used in homes. So whatever we're going to do is that, or as a start, as something that we're going to pitch and show you guys we've done, that we have done that. We're going to make sure that even from the panels, these batteries that are going to capture that power, we're going to make it even better and then work on them at a larger scale. So this is the bit of innovation about the panels and making them better.
Are you going to are you buying that, you've bought them to start, and in the long term you're going to build them yourself and manufacture them yourself? What I think she's asking is why wouldn't she do the exact same thing you guys are saying and set up a different solar farm? Or just, what is there protecting you against that?
It is producing now.
Yeah, and also just building on that is about, it's dependent on KPLC. The business idea is really dependent on acceptance by KPLC. How sure are you that KPLC is going to buy your idea? Yet, you know very well that KPLC has been fighting, producers of solar so viciously.
Okay.
So why do you think they are going to buy into your idea?
Okay, let me take that first and then come back. KPLC is currently welcoming producers of renewable sources of energy. And in fact, they have set a feed-in tariff, which we said is $0.12 for anybody producing 1 megawatt hours. So they are currently accepting. They are trying to push away the renewable sources. For example, coal in areas like in Naivasha and something like that. So our dependence on KPLC is because KPLC is the only mandated entity by law to sell power. we will produce the power, but we cannot sell it to individuals. So that's one problem that we face.
But they can procure those panels from them. They would want to procure them directly, because if they procure them through you, it means that their margins for profit are going to go down. So why would they now say, yes, they are welcoming renewable sources, but not from other middle parties? So why would they come?
Okay. So the thing is, also law works to mandate KPLC to do the distribution and the distribution to end users. Why we have companies like Kenya National Generating Electricity, and Kenya currently is focusing on hydro and and geothermal. So and areas like Baringo and Westpokot, they are remote and they have not been accessed by these people. So getting panels for a start with, we see how it can work, and then like getting the farm was the big idea. Then maybe let me just come back to about whether the thing is about like buying this equipment at a larger scale. The thing is, like I said, panels let me not talk about the conversion process. The photovoltaic cells are subject to development, and these are items that we are currently working on as we distribute the panels, and just getting them to be more efficient and smaller in size. Currently, sizes for solars are up to 5 by 3, that is millimeters squared, and that can be reduced so that we have a smaller area capturing maximum solar power.
Suggestion. So the way you're presenting it as it is right now, it feels like someone can just buy a lot of smaller panels, and would it make a lot more sense to get slightly bigger panels in those homes, and then the extra power that is generated from this is aggregated through you guys, and then you can feed it to the national grid that can be supplied to other people? Because I don't see any differentiation in what you're presenting to someone who just buy a lot of panels for itself.
So currently, most of the people in Baringo, on the leeward side, most of them are pastoralists. So putting solar panel for them and producing, like, let's say 1 megawatt is quite hard. So if we can put it, let's say, a community land, so that we produce the 50 megawatts, supply it to KPLC, then the 10 megawatts, let's say, we supply it back to Baringo, so that they can use it. So that they remain settled. They don't have to move around.
Slightly better idea than the previous one of just buying panels, because I mean there's value now you can provide to the communities by ensuring that now they stay there. They can use the power to irrigation for every other thing, as opposed to just trying to get panels and then selling. So maybe just refine the model slightly, if you can, and look at what value and impact you can create to the communities that you're talking about by providing these grants in those regions. So I think that is a slightly better approach to it.
Help me appreciate the group. The one movement for social impact.
Yeah.
The one movement for social impact.
Yeah.
At this point, we promise that after the presentation, we are going to request the judges, if there's a group you felt like you need to hear more, this is the time for them to come back. Mashujaa group? Yes. Which other group? Mashujaa, okay. And after that, we're going to get another performance from this is here.
Good afternoon. Thank you. I'll just start the disability question. how I'm feeling is, how we are feeling is that it's good enough.
Just a recap of the solution, and then we can go to the questions. That's it.
So, student class. Education is the future. Education is the future is such a strong statement in itself because we are all educated, or we are in the process of being educated. A first year entering university today sees unemployment as a problem to his solution, so-called education. We hear of first-class students driving property, civil engineering students, graduates doing this. Like the hope for education is diminishing, truth be told. And we ask ourselves, why is that? And to answer that, we looked at ourselves in our class. I'm doing BCom, we are doing BCom, and in our class there are 300 students. An example is for taxation. Let me just get to the point. For taxation, we are in a 40 capacity room, just an example of doing. And you can imagine 300 students trying to learn in a place where meant for 40 students. It's not ideal. It's not ideal, that's the problem. And the government is increasing spending on education, year in, year out, budgeting, and there's nothing to show for it. Yeah, education has come a long way, and with Student Plus, we are going to take it further. We are making it such that people who want to learn can get education from the people closer.
We want to use from our app, our students are supposed to, we are linked to them through the online app. So once you have a question or you have a problem in your area of study, you log into the app, you create your profile, and then you state your area of study where you have a problem, and then you'll be able to get your solution.
As our managing or marketing model, we bring forth the in-app purchases where you can access like the e-resources, for example like ebooks and maybe articles. We also put forth ads. There's a ad space. Then we also bring a premium plan where you can access the ad free. So we can, for example, the educators, we can pay them from the money that we get from the ads. He's the CEO, Jabez Berun. She is the project manager. Francis Muteti, I'm the marketing strategist. Our CEO is not currently here. Yeah.
So who pays the draft? Apart from the revenue, because I'm not a big fan of spending your money.
The good part, or the amazing part, is that it's free. For everyone to join, it is free. We are trying to get as many. Remember, we are solving a problem with the community in mind when we are making money. We're trying to solve, sort of killing three birds with one stone, if that's possible. So how we're making money for an investor is through engagement. With engagement, because the more the people, the more the money in terms of advertisement spaces and in-app purchases and premium plan for those who don't want advertisements.
You're overestimating how difficult it is. I guess you're underestimating how difficult it is to generate significant revenue from ads, especially on day one. It takes a really long time and a lot of engagement to be able to generate meaningful revenue from ads. So I think what she was asking, which is a good question, is you need to think through a little bit more the revenue piece of this. Because yes, education is the future, and I understand you want to solve a problem, but you also need to incentivize all the players in the ecosystem in order to solve the problem, right? You need to incentivize the lecturers. You need to create value for the platform. And one other thing is, like, when people don't pay for something at all, when they have access to it for free, they value it less, right? So if you actually want someone to be able to use this platform, and we are all, used to paying for education, but so I don't think it's a huge departure to charge for it. The other thing I think you need to think through is, like, what role does this play? Is it like a supplement to what people are already learning in school? And if that's the case, how do you actually organize like this supplementary information? And then a little bit more clarity on who are you targeting? Are you targeting universities? Are you targeting, standard 1 to 8? Like, what's the target there?
Thank you very much. Before we just how I think let me try to explain how we looked at it ourselves at first. How we're going to make money look at ourselves. So personally, I wouldn't mind paying 10 shillings or 100 shillings to get a one-on-one with my lecturer. How we incentivize the lecturer is he gets a cut, but we get a cut, he gets the bigger part, because I can't get my lecturer one-on-one now. I cannot find it anywhere. Once he leaves the class, we meet during cuts and exams. And that is to tell us, you guys do well, we meet for supplementaries. So making that easier for me to get my lecturer. If I'm to pay 100 shillings, which would have been my transport to come to school, to see my lecturer extra, this is how we're making. That's how we pay the lecturers, and that's how we get it by us.
Yeah, just a couple of things. One, and I don't want to be the advocate of the fact that education is not the future. So you really need to make that statement again, that education is the future. The second thing is we are the generation, our generation and the generation that is coming after us want less education, but relevant education. So I feel like you are creating an opportunity for more education, which might not necessarily be the solution to the problem that we are facing. So you might also want to interrogate that and see whether someone wants to see a lecturer after attending a class. In fact, I think personally I wouldn't want to follow a lecturer after that. In fact, once I'm done with a class, and I don't know how many people here would want to again go see a lecturer after class, so you might want to interrogate that. And lastly is the issue, I feel like the problem you're trying to address is the issue of quality of education, which of course is, you and I agree that is an important issue that needs to be addressed, but I'm not sure if it's supposed to be addressed by creating more opportunities for learning. If anything, it is being addressed at the level of maybe review of the curriculum. Because you can even give students another 15, 20 hours of learning, but if the curriculum is not right, they will still graduate, but they won't get the jobs. And I think that is what we are. So you might want to interrogate your business idea a little more, so that it is more as customers. Because otherwise you have a good idea, but it does not have customers because it's not relevant. Yeah, thanks.
To be honest, I wouldn't want to stop myself in saying this. I would want to stop myself in my idea of our team by saying this, but I understand what you're saying. We are not all 300 students from a class will want to see the lecturer. There's that one student, those two students who will want to learn. Maybe they have an idea, and the lecturer has, of course the lecturer is learning, and he knows what he's saying, he or she knows what they're saying. And we're just making that easier for that student. And for review, for what else, we can also work with schools, partners, and we'll review our financial area. And if schools were to help, just pay for the program or something, and that would be one of the ways we can.
Sorry, so I just wanted to pipe in and say, when you started, you said that your parents have been able to afford your education. That's a very middle class problem, right? You're already in a school. What happens to the person who cannot get into a classroom, right? out there, there's so many software engineers who've learned how to code and work for Microsoft and Google and Facebook without having stepped into a university classroom. If you wanted to learn how to code today, you can do it, right? There's free learning platforms that have put that content available. But how most of these make money is when I want my certificate, I pay. I pay $100, I pay $200, and I download it, and that can be used to get me a job. So think of the school fees that you're paying at multimedia. Can you tell someone somewhere out there in Marsabit that they can learn at Multimedia University without having to be there, and you can give them that access? That creates more opportunity by making learning more available and more accessible. And with COVID, which is what some of the things that we'll be talking about with the Hultprize, you're seeing more parents who want to homeschool. You're seeing more people who are seeing the value of learning virtually. Time to build them a business that allows me not 100,000 shillings for education at a good private school, but I can pay 20K and still get a certificate from a school. So think about that. The lecturer will be willing to do content for that particular platform. They don't want to make 8 shillings per student. They want to make 8K per student per hour. Yeah?
And to add on that is the watch hours for people cutting through things, like it's crazy because it's a lot of people watching something that doesn't make sense. And one of the reasons why they do that is because of the quality. It is extremely high quality, it is 4K, it's good audio. If we offer that to lecturers, it make learning nice, it looks nice, sounds nice, it's well delivered and accessible to most.
This actually it's been like 4 hours. We began at around 10:40, right about now. It's a few minutes to 2:15. So we can tell it's been like they have a task. So at this point, I'll allow the judges to conclude their tally before they give us the feedback, and also we get to know the winner and the people who are going to, the groups which are going to be proceeding rather to the regionals level. But before that, we'll have a performance by Ilya. Then I'm going to be introducing the club, Hultprize. Welcome everyone.
It's the US, it's the US.
Thank you. We'll start this one again. So hi, hope you're good. So I'm sure Mekong just some weird name up. Let's welcome. This is Ivia. This is Ivia is the name of my all social media platforms. That's how I go by. This is Ivia, but my name is Ivia. IVIA. If that name inakusumbua, chakula kime Ivia jikoni that name hapo katikati. That's my name. So I have been watching you guys when you're in pitch to hapa. It's really amazing how you're dancing and everything. It looks nice. You guys look amazing. I really enjoyed watching you guys just freaking out. And you did well. You actually did so good. And so this song that I'm about to sing right now is more of a presentation because I have messed up. And I'm asking for forgiveness. I hope she does forgive me. If she doesn't, it's okay. But I hope she does. So, you're gonna go out there, just tell me if you forgive me. That's good. Say, give me a chance, let me explain all the things I did to you. If I'm afraid, I'm running again, trying to call me back to you.
I wish I knew. I tell me when you want you cute, but baby girl, you don't go. Don't give me some of the to come. Don't leave. Don't I can leave the bed, and I will also. Don't give me some of the to come. Don't just tell me for some. Don't sing it, listen. I need to collab with someone. Baru baca aja. Bersama pada jengkang don't pakai nipu dan kesalahan motor. Don't bersama pada jengkang don't isi kami motor. Don't sing it, listen, sing it. Give you the chance, but you didn't save us. I was breaking now, there was no romance. This is so outrageous. Why are you sorry now? You complicated this yet. Now you cannot in the bed you made. I wanna take you back, yeah. But do you understand how I feel? You've been unbearable, and I've been unapproachable. Yeah, this shit's unexplainable. You make me feel expendable. I don't believe what you say. You break my heart, you're not the victim. I'll give you one, but no one takes it. So who's mine? I'm a change, be brand new. The things I did, how I wish I knew. I took you when you want me, punk, and you're cute. But baby girl, you want it, don't go. Give me some of the to come, don't leave. I can think of purpose, and I'm a motor. Don't go. Give me some of the to come, don't go. If you tell me what's wrong, don't go. See me in the wrong. You should give me up on DJ. DJ, stop the music. Thank you. We go to the next. But first of all, hey, you guys are really dancing, man. And no, I'm really easy. I hope everything will be okay. You just relax, okay? Okay? You know, as an artist, if you want to hear, it's just understandable that you go quiet. And first of all, these judges are very nice names. So, let's get so much of the charge up. Had some things in there actually. Good names. So, one time at a point in life, I was lonely. And what is loneliness, man? If you are lonely, you are depressed. You don't know what's going on. Everything doesn't feel right. So this song I wrote actually want to create some sort of depression, some sort of loneliness, some sort of. And it wasn't really loud. It was an important thing for it to work well for me. All DJ, try to make us say. I know that I've been lonely. Since I why I'm crying. You told me, you saw me crying. I was a mess, but you never denied it. You saw my heart, what did it happen? I never knew what to do. It's no wrong, but you fight. You know I'm not a fighter. You know I was wrong, not a fighter. To find myself inside the space, and I can't lie, everybody found me, and I do a story, and I wish I cried, put your hand on me, it was everything about me, to find out peace, I used to cry, my life was stolen, everybody found me. I think you know, I'm your story, I'm not going to know what I know. I'm saying your story, I'm not going to when I was taking the hate to my brain as I tried and I failed. Again and again, help me God, pray for my life. Why? What did I try to fight? I bottom high. What the hell did you mean I did? Think about that. I think I'm in hell. Fuck one night. Sorry, I'm kissing you. Picking up facts. Leave me alone. One of the it's your one. Una cosa di presa. Una cosa lui. I can't understand the droga. So we don't think so. Or maybe she like we never not easily ignore. Because I'm waiting for movie, come on, I wonder how the hell I'm gonna put my life on. Anyway, are lonely. Everybody around me, I'm too lonely. And I wish I